and Fun Reviews. If you're new here on this channel, I share with you delightful, family-friendly, and faith-based movies and television shows. Y'all, okay? Oh, I'm so excited to get into this. But anyways, how y'all doing? And happy Sunday, by the way. What is going on in y'all world, okay? All of that. Y'all know, drop it in the comments. Let me know how you doing, how you feeling. What are some movies that greatly impacted you lately, that really got you going, inspired, encouraged, all of that good stuff. Any scriptures that stood out to you that you were like, girl below, oh wow, this really did it for me. This came through for me, okay? This was God letting me know that he is here. It's gonna be all right. All of that good stuff, drop it in the comments because y'all know I am here for it, all right? But as for me, I am doing so amazing. I know I say that all the time, but it's always a blessing and a privilege and an honor to be hanging out with y'all. Get on here and be talking movies, television shows, all of that. It just really makes my day. Like, seriously, y'all don't know how much, like, for real. Y'all do not know how much getting on here, hanging out with y'all really does a lot for me. Like, it keeps me in a good place, in a good mood. I just be so happy, especially when we really be getting into all of this stuff like we about to get into right now. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with our special feature today, which is titled Karate Kid Legends. Okay, y'all, this is playing right now in your local theater, so okay. But first, let me tell y'all what this film is about. After moving to New York City with his mother, Kung Fu prodigy Li Fong struggles to let go of the past as he tries to fit in with his new classmates. When a new friend needs his help, Li enters a karate competition, but his skills alone aren't enough. With help from Mr. Han and Daniel LaRusso, he soon learns to merge two styles into one for the ultimate martial arts showdown. And let me tell y'all, it was a showdown, okay? Yo, this film, y'all know this is faith, family, and fun, right? So this will fall under my fun/family, okay, but more so fun. And this was really a fun film for me. Y'all know when y'all look back at the stroll back into the video history, I have stuff in there from Three Ninjas, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So y'all know this is right up my alley. This is like childhood. It's so heartwarming, okay? And I was thinking after I watched this, y'all, out of all the films that I have watched lately, and all of them were really good, obviously, because I talked about them here. But this one, it was just something more about it that it was so much more fun for me. It was a blast for me. I found myself, y'all, in the theaters, like so engaged, clapping and all kind of stuff, y'all. That's how much fun I had with this film, okay? It was just so special in so many different ways. And I have seen some reviews about this film prior to going in and watching this film, and I get where they were coming from, but for me, I'm looking at it from a total different perspective. I'm coming from a different angle here. I'm coming from an angle where I have a special love and it's a special place in my heart for the Karate Kid, okay? The very first one is gonna be my favorite. Like most things that are the first, nothing really compares to the first. It's just always really, really special. And that's what I guess made this one so special to me, because I haven't seen all the Karate. I haven't seen the one with Will Smith's son, Jaden. I haven't seen that one, okay? And I'm one of them kind of people, like, when the first of anything is always very special to me, and it's very hard for me to go on to a sequel unless I see some ties to the first one, whether you bring it back a character from the first one or something. It got to be some kind of tie there, otherwise I'm just like, I'm not going to be in a hurry to go watch it. So that's probably why I never got to the one the other one with Jaden with Will Smith's son in that one, so I never seen it. I should probably go see it at some point, especially since I done kind of skipped over it and went to this one, right? But with this one, I don't know, with Jackie Chan being in here, and so that was already like, okay, we love us some Jackie Chan over here, okay? So that was like something right there. And then when I heard that you gonna have Daniel in there, I'm like, like, you know, I'm showing up, okay? I gotta see. So I was so happy that it was so many ties from the first, when this film opens up, it's a tie right there for all of us who enjoyed the very first one, who this is a special place in our hearts for. So they opened up that tie, that bond there for us to get to see this history that they connected to the first film. That really broke the ice for me. So already I'm engaged. My heart is open to what are you gonna show me next? How am I gonna have an emotional tie to these new characters here? Because the way that you opened up the film to see Mr. Miyagi, I love Mr. Miyagi because he was Japanese, and me growing up, I always enjoyed the Japanese culture. Always had a soft spot, excuse me, for Japanese culture. I wanted to go to Japan one day. That has always been my dream since I was like a little girl. And so Mr. Miyagi was Japanese and all of that. And so it was always very special to me since I was a little girl. And so it's still, and then we have, like I said, you open up with that tie there. We see that picture of Mr. Miyagi, even though he's not around, he's not with us anymore. But we see that there, and it's just like, man, it just wanted to bring tears to your eyes when you have that emotional connection. So right there, the film already had me. But as it started to play out, and we get to see Li, and we're introduced to his mom. They're in China right now, and he's gonna make that transition to the United States, gonna be in New York. And all the while I'm thinking, because it's moving, this film kind of does, and I understand where people coming from, and this film does seems like it could be what a person may call rushed a little bit, which was fine for me, because as I was watching it, and those transitions from scene to scene in New York a lot throughout the film, I was like, oh, I didn't really care for that. But at the same time, I thought about how what people describe New York as, really fast, and everything is just like that in the city, is just moving like that, and I'm looking at it, and I thought maybe there was something that they were trying to tell us more, like the filmmakers here, when you are in a place like that and looking at it from Li's perspective, you're coming away from a whole different country, different culture, everything, to New York. Out of all places, you're not even going to a place where it's just like nice and slow and country, like where you can kind of slowly adjust and make that adjustment, but you're going somewhere that's so populated, really fast. All kind of stuff is going on. Everything is like poppy, and it's like, how can you even stay focused on one thing? And so I felt like they did a good play of those transitions from scene to scene, from Li's perspective, how he may feel, how that character may feel, where everything is just so fast paced, you're trying to keep up, and you have all these different ties to your home country and his background and this trauma that he has experienced that we don't get to dive in it too much, but they do give us a little play of that by flashing back to the past and really seeing what happened and why the mom was the way that she was, very protective and didn't want Li to fight anymore and different things like that. And I felt like if they would have dove a little bit deeper into that, it would have made it for those people who are not like me, who already ain't gonna be like connected, and maybe a little bit of bias, I have to say that. But if they would have really dove into his background, his story, and the mom as well, I felt like it would have really pulled in the audience, where they would have an even stronger connection to these characters and feel for them even more. And it probably would have slowed it down just a little bit more, where it wouldn't have seemed so rushed and so fast paced. But I do understand, and I liked how they used those transitions from scene to scene to give us that feel of how Li may be feeling with adjusting to being in a whole nother country, and on top of that being in New York. And so I really appreciate that. As I was watching and that came to my mind, I was like, okay, that was a good play of how you use that camera work into giving us an eye-opener to how that character may be feeling, so, and giving us that connection. So I appreciated that. Then I was wondering, am I gonna have that emotional tie like I had to Daniel? I love Daniel. We loved him. We wanted him to win, and seeing his relationship with Mr. Miyagi and all of that was beautiful, right? And so I was wondering if I'm gonna feel that connection with Li, and I have to say I did. I love him now just as much as I love Daniel. I wanted him to win just as much as I wanted Daniel to win back in that first film. And so I so love that, and I love that when he opened his mouth to speak, because I guess automatically you're thinking, especially with someone coming from a total different country, you're expecting almost, even though you're not conscious of it, but you're kind of expecting that they're gonna have an accent. And so when he did not have it, he spoke as if he was born and raised in the United States. that was refreshing to me, and I realized in that moment how much I appreciated that, because it made it even easier to adjust to him, to receive him, and to understand him, and to relate to him even more because of the way that he spoke and how well he spoke. Not only that, but even the mom here, clearly we know that they are not from here, as far as, I mean, the film does a good job letting us know, right? They come in from China, and we get to see them move and make that transition, but for them to speak as well as they spoke with no accent, that was like, it was a real good thing. I love that they did that. And so and I love Li, like the way that he was such a sweet boy, so encouraging. The way that he looked at life was so beautiful, and I guess a lot of that kind of derived from his teachings of and him learning karate and where he came from, and all of those different things like played into the human being that he was and made him so much more human. And I love that about that. Like I said, y'all, I was just like, oh, why can I have a friend like this when I was in high school? Okay, Mia, you girl, you lucked out. Clearly, you really did. Okay, and that's what I was thinking. Okay, who get this? Who gets a guy like Li who just kind of fell into your lap? I mean, the way that they met, I love it. It was so organic. Okay, he just comes in there for a slice of pizza, stuffed crust. Of course, they didn't have it available, but that became his nickname, stuffed crust. And so I just loved it. It was so organic. You seen the connection right away. There was something, we seen that pull there. But I do love that this film, with them being so young in high school, I love that the film didn't really like narrow in on a romance, because I feel like when you're a teenager, yes, we know you may have that kind of thing going on, that attraction, but I feel like that shouldn't be a teenager's focus. They have so much more life to live. They should be focusing more on their future, getting themselves together. And I love that Li mom was about education, making sure he was prepared for life in general. And so we got to see a lot more of that, with him studying, with him trying to strive, and with him trying to actually reach goals and go somewhere and be someone. And the film more focused on education and his character, who is he as a human being. And to me, that's more important, to teach those kind of values to children, so we can have some very beautiful adult people. I feel like a lot of people miss that growing up, being children, with missing what it's like to having a person or a guardian or someone in your life teaching you honor, respect, integrity, and morals. And I felt like we got to see a lot of that play out in this film, but not in a way where it would feel like it's boring to someone, or like, okay, you're just teaching us, okay, this is not like school here. No, but they did it, and they played it into his style of fighting, and him learning and growing as a fighter, and making that connection to him as a human being and to his character. And to me, I thought that was very, very beautiful. It is well needed, especially in the life we're living now in this generation. So I so appreciated that. And I do love, like I said, yeah, we know that Mia and Li had something special between them, but I love that the film didn't harp on that. They didn't make that the focus. It played more into who he is as a person, and getting past that trauma that he's been through in a healthy way. And I so love that, y'all. On top of all the characters here were beautiful characters. They all blended very well. The actors did an amazing job. And on top of that, so they just, I don't know, they just said, below, girl, let me look at your journal, let me look at your diary, see what you like, okay? Because that's what I felt like they gave me in this film. Like I said, the ties to Mr. Miyagi, the ties to the first film. Did you bring back Daniel here? I love him. And then you give us this brand new character who has a lot of the different elements from the first film, from that he's just a very, very likable character, right? And so I appreciate that. And even you made the love interest for Li, I love her. She didn't seem like a damsel in distress, but if anything, she more added to who he was. And she was someone that stood on her own, not only as a human being, but even in her household with her dad. And I love that y'all got her dad, Joshua Jackson. Girl, like I said, y'all opened up my diary and you said, okay, we doing this for Beloved. Okay, we making this for Beloved right here, okay? Because Joshua Jackson, y'all know Pacey from Dawson's Creek, okay? Like, come on now. Like, you get him. And I was just, excited, swooning, okay? But not in the way that you think it, but swooning in as far as just seeing that growth in him as an actor and seeing him as a grown man here, playing a father and a good father. Yeah, you see the flaws here, you see the different things. And he was hilarious. He added so much comedy to this film, and that's something that you just didn't really expect, because especially for those of us who watched him from the Mighty Ducks and you watched him to Dawson's Creek and these different things, so you kind of grew up with Joshua Jackson. And so to see him in this very different grown-up role, but at the same time have a lot of childlike things about him, was amazing. It just had me smiling from ear to ear, okay? And I love that he played such a prominent character. He wasn't just a character that they just kind of threw in there just to bring in a crowd or whatever you want to call it. No, his character was very significant to the entire plot, and it showed us so much more of who Mia was as a person, because this is her father, this is who she came from. And seeing what him doing with the pizza shop, and he had his own little side story that tied into Lee and the overall like picture here was amazing. And I was just like, y'all, I had so much fun with this film. As you can tell, with this big smile on my face, okay? This is definitely something that I will watch again, and I love and appreciated this film. Y'all, kudos to all of y'all, okay? It was just, I loved it, okay? I had so much fun. Laughing, smiling, engaged, rooting for these characters and everything else, okay? Once again, this film is titled Karate Kid Legends, playing right now in your local theater. But before I leave y'all for the day, let's go ahead and get into this word, right? So we are coming out of, let's see, 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 12. And it reads, fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life, to which you were also called, and have confessed the good confession in the presence of many witnesses. So that's all I have for y'all for this video. Y'all let me know in the comments how you feeling, all that good stuff. You know, just let your girl know something here, okay? Don't go quiet on me, alright? Y'all know I love y'all, okay? So until next time, may the Lord bless and keep you both now and forevermore.